Hey, welcome to this STAIR Tailored. I'm Sarah Powell from the University of Texas at Austin, and today we're focused on multiplication using the lattice method. So we have a problem here, 37 times 62, and I'm going to show you how we could help students understand solving this problem with the lattice method. So the lattice method involves a few different things. First, I'm going to set up a lattice to work my problem. And your lattice should have as many columns as you have digits in your first factor, and as many rows as you have digits in your second factor. So since I have a two-digit number multiplied by a two-digit number, I'm going to draw two columns and two rows. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right here with my squeaky marker. Then I won't use this marker because it's too squeaky. Whoa, really squeaky today. Now I'm going to put in my lattices. That's where the term lattice comes from. Each lattice is going to come from the top right-hand corner to the bottom left-hand corner. And with lattice multiplication, I like to extend that lattice out just a little bit, just like that. So then top right-hand corner to bottom left-hand corner, and I'm going to extend it out of my rectangle, and then top right-hand corner to bottom left-hand corner. And I'll extend it out just like that. Now, before I do anything, I want to talk to you about how place value is actually emphasized within the lattice model. So right here, this lattice and this area right here where my face is, this ends up being our ones column. This lattice right here, this area here, this will end up being our tens. So I'm going to go ahead and label it. You don't always have to label it, but I think it's helpful to label it here. This here will end up being our hundreds. And then guess what the next lattice is going to be? This will be our thousands. Now, if you had more lattices, if you had numbers that were a three-digit number multiplied by another three-digit number, you would just adjust your place value accordingly. But it always moves from ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and around. All right, so now I've got my whole thing set up. Now it's time to put in our numbers. So I was multiplying 37 times 62. So now let's go ahead and do some math. I'm going to just start here. 3 times 6. Well, 3 times 6 is 18. The product to this multiplication right there is going to go in this rectangle right here. So that is 18 is 1 10 and 8 ones. So basically your tens kind of go above the lattice and your ones go below the lattice. But I want to step back just for a minute. This is actually 30 times 60. 30 times 60 is 1,800. So I want you to notice, what do you notice about this? 1,800. That's how lattice multiplication is going to work. Now let's multiply here. 7 times 6. 7 times 6 is 42, or the interpretation of this is 7 times 60, which would be 420. 3 times 2 is 6. I'll put in a 0 there, and 6. And 7 times 2 is 14. So now to figure out our product to 37 times 62, we are going to add together all of the numbers within each lattice. So I'm going to start with this lattice right here. There's only one number there, which is 4. So I'll write this down here, and that will end up being the digit that's in my ones column. Now I'm going to add together the numbers here in the tens. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 6 is 9. Now I add together the hundreds. 4 plus 8 is 12. And so what I have to do here is I actually have to regroup. So I put a 2 and I regroup my 1, and then 1 plus 1 is 2. So to figure out the product, I'm going to start right here and move all the way around to the side. I always kind of like to draw an arrow like that. So I have 2,294. So when we multiply 37 times 62, the product is 2,294. Thanks so much for tuning in to this STAIR Tailored.